Hey, what's going on YouTube? Alabama Reloader here. So coming to you today. It's been a busy week. Super busy. I've been traveling for work. Actually going to be home for about 36 hours, and then I'm going to fly right back out. But what I wanted to do real quick while I'm home for just a little bit of time is I wanted to make a video about a new rifle that you guys will see on the channel quite a bit. This is one that I have wanted to purchase. The brand is one I've wanted to purchase for a long time. And look at that. It is a Bergara B14 Hunter. This is pretty much the very base stock model that they option. All right, let me start over. This is the very base option that they sell for the B14. I think I'm correct on that. Go double check, verify that. But of course, from this point up, you know, all the features, bells and whistles and all that fun stuff of, you know, you can basically spend whatever you want to on one of these. They've got some really, really high-end rifles. My neighbor's back here cutting his grass, which reminds me, I need to cut mine because it's about a foot tall. Like I said, I've been traveling, so just hadn't really had time. But yeah, so picked up this guy, went over to Mr. Big Guns in Huntsville. Again, you guys have heard me talk about that place so much, but that is my #1 spot to shop for firearms, reloading components, you name it, whatever you need firearms related, that's where I go. And so this guy picked it up, and I actually got it chambered in a cartridge that I've reloaded for only one time. I've never actually owned the cartridge that this is chambered in, but I worked up a load for a buddy of mine for his rifle because he has a rifle chambered for this cartridge, and that is the 7mm-08 or 7mm-08, however you want to pronounce it. Either way, I don't care. I'm a huge fan of it, but I've never owned one. And yes, the scope is sitting really high. That's just because these are the only 30mm rings I've got that'll fit, or you know, 30mm rings that'll work for this application. And so I just don't really want to go buy any more. This is not going to be the final configuration of this setup. You know, this is going to be strictly a hunting rifle. That's what its intended purpose is. So it's not going to have this massive Conus Pro M30 6.5 to 25 power scope on it when I go hunting, right? So that's just what's on there now for load development. But just kind of give you an overview, like I said, 7mm-08 or 08. Thin sporter barrel, you know, it's not threaded. So again, base model, not threaded. It does not have the detachable magazine. This comes with the blind magazine where you insert from the top. You've got the hinged floor plate so you can unload. But that's very basic, very much a purpose-built rifle. You know, no frills for hunting. Yeah, what's up? Well, that's not good. Oh. In the yard? Come on. You'll be all right. So what's nice about this rifle is the finish on the stock. You can go look it up, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys what you can just go read online on Bergara's website. But what I will say is the finish, the feel of it almost has like a Hogue feel, those rubber overmold stocks that they have. But of course you've got, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's not necessarily a true rubbery feel, but stock feels good. Same thing on a CVA Cascade because they're owned by the same people, right? So, which I'm pretty sure the Bergara rifles and the CVA rifles are manufactured in the same facility. Pretty sure that's the case. But like I said, 7mm-08, trigger's great right out of the box. I adjusted it down. I think we're around 2 pounds, something like that. Bolt runs great, no issues. I've already put 40 rounds through this thing. And what I did was I loaded up 50 rounds total with, where are they at? It's the Spear, around here somewhere. Spear, 130 grain. Where are they? Because it's not the boat tail. It's basically the hot cores. It's the 130 grain Spear hot core is what I loaded up in this guy with IMR 4064, just to go to the range, shoot it, see how it shot initially. Haven't cleaned it yet. And also, I will mention before I get to the target that I did not have this scope on there when I took it to the range. I actually had it in basically the configuration I'm gonna have it in when I take it hunting, which is with a Leupold 2-7x33. So a lightweight package with that all in. This thing comes in at like, I think it's 7 pounds, 13 ounces, something like that, roughly, or just over 8 pounds. So pretty, light enough on the package there to take hunting and have no issues with it. Hey, big girl. My daughter came running out here, so she's out here with me now. But so let's get to the target. It's not impressive by any means, but I just wanted to, throw a load together, take it to the range, check how it shot. From here, we're gonna obviously do a ton of load development geared toward this rifle. That was the very first group I shot, is 41.3 grains. Actually, I lied to you, 41 grains right there. So you can see that was the very first shot out of the rifle. Then the next 4 printed high and to the left. After that, made an adjustment on the scope and shot the next 5. So you can see, again, had 4 kind of cluster closer together than 1 kind of off out of the group. And then from there, transitioned up here to these dots. This is 41.6 grains, 41.9. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I mean, again, the accuracy overall, nothing really to write home about. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 42.2. I'm jumping 3/10 in case you guys couldn't do math. And then 42.5, that one, I just kind of consider this more of an anomaly based off just how the rest of the groups look. That tightened up quite a bit. Again, you got to remember I'm shooting this thing on 7 power. And then jump down here, 42.8. So just 3/10 before, not good. 3/10 after, not good. So I don't really think that is indicative of what that load really truly looks like. 42.8, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, so not that great. And then 43.1, that was as high as I shot that day. I've still got the final 10 rounds, so 2 more 5-shot groups to go. 43.1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So yeah, not really great with the Spear 130 grain hot cores, but it's not necessarily the bullet that I plan on loading up for this thing long term and taking hunting. I've got some Barnes 120 grain tip TSX. Yeah, check, make sure there ain't spiders in them before you put them on though. You should be good.
How do you just do that?
What do you mean?
Stick your hand in there. What if there's a spider in there?
Well, that'll be alright. What is he gonna bite me? She was wanting to wear my boots outside because there's little stickers in the yard. And so she was, yeah, that one should be fine. You should be good. Yeah, you should be alright.
If I get bit, I'll blame it on you.
Okay. So yeah, so it's, I'm not concerned, right, at all with how this rifle will shoot long term. I'm not worried about it. Would I like to see, similar performance like I'm seeing out of my Remington 770 with the Nosler 150 grain ballistic tip? Most definitely. Will we get there? Most definitely. We're just gonna have to find bullet powder combination that works great in this particular rifle. So not a big deal. What I will mention though is just the fit and finish of the rifle is really awesome for the money, in my opinion. The free floating on the barrel, great, no issue. Same thing on the CVA Cascade. Again, like I said, they're made in the same factory, so they're almost clones, in my opinion. The CVA Cascade versus the B14 Hunter, very similar. The way they stamp, the names on the rifle here, on the action, all the above, the way the bolts feel, slight difference, but not much. I mean, you almost can't tell a difference between the two. I have a CVA Cascade chambered in 308, and then now I have the Bergara B14 Hunter in 7mm-08, and there's almost no difference between the two in terms of, if you pick one up, you know, you cover all this up, the branding and stuff, you pick it up, you really can't tell a difference between the two. The CVA Cascade's got a fluted barrel and a muzzle brake and, you know, kind of a couple extra features, but overall the stocks feel exactly the same, actions feel almost identical. So between the two, very similar. But I've wanted a Bergara for a long time. Their barrels are well renowned, you know, well known, renowned for accuracy, very good barrels overall. They decided to start making rifles, and they've been a huge hit so far from what I understand. And so pretty much the sky's the limit from this model up. Spend as much money as you want to on these things, but I wanted to go with the base model, check it out, and I think it's going to be a really good shooter once we dial it in, find a really good load that works well for it. The 7mm-08's great cartridge. When I'm releasing this video, Hornady actually is funny, because as I was sitting in my hotel room throughout the week, I was like, yeah, I want to go ahead and do a video on the new rifle, the cartridge, and all that. And Hornady, their podcast, literally they just released a video on the 7mm-08 like yesterday or 2 days ago. So pretty good timing, how that coincided, so that's awesome. But yeah, great cartridge overall, one that I'm a huge fan of. Just an overall dynamite hunting round, even up to elk size game. I've wanted one for a long time. This is a cartridge that I would say me and my brother have probably talked the most about this particular cartridge, and yet neither one of us, to my knowledge, has ever owned one. And so it's a really solid round overall. 7mm bullet. I mean, you've got great options there for hunting purposes. And yeah, it's a really good sort of all-purpose cartridge that I think we're going to dig in pretty deep and work up multiple loads using multiple bullets, multiple powders. So we've just got a lot of stuff coming for this platform. So hang around, check out the videos that are going to be following. Probably might start off with something like the Hornady, the 139, right? That's just a very classic, that 139 interlock. That's a classic setup. So I may start off with something like that and then go from there. So y'all stay tuned, and we'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.